Here's how to get guys to stop looking at you as just a hookup and start viewing you as the kind of girl they want to take home. First things first, you have to see yourself as more than just a hookup. And I know that sounds very easy and obvious, like, well, of course I am. But do you really believe that? When I was younger, I said this before, like, I was ready to date since I was 6 years old, literally. I was, like, ready. So by the time I was, like, 16, 17, I was, like, so ready. And I was kind of, like, so desperate for attention from guys that I didn't even really care what kind of attention it was. And that lasted well into my 20s. Like, I was so boy crazy, and I was so, like, man crazy. I guess the word could be desperate. I guess it could be. That when guys would, like, make these crude jokes to me or, like, hey, oh, your tits and your ass, I realize I'm saying all this with my boobs out. I understand the irony. I wouldn't, like, be offended outwardly. I wouldn't act like that because I was like, oh my God, someone's paying attention to me. And these weren't even, like, conscious thoughts I was having. But there's a phrase, what you permit, you promote. Very interesting. And I was permitting this kind of attitude the guys were having towards me. I was permitting them to make these gross sexual comments, to grab my ass at a bar and be like, oh, you got a great ass. I wasn't slapping people in the face. I wasn't being like, I actually don't find that funny. I was like, ha ha ha, yeah, because I wanted to be the cool girl. Because I thought, oh, that's what guys want. Like, I got to be so cool with everything. And sometimes I genuinely was. I wasn't always looking for a boyfriend. Sometimes I was totally cool with, like, just a good time kind of thing. But a lot of times I wasn't, and I wasn't honest with myself about that. And because I was lying to myself, I was putting out a lie into the world. And if I had stopped and been like, you know what? I want a boyfriend right now. I want to be the girl they take home to mom. I don't want you to treat me like that. I don't want you to speak to me like that. I don't want that kind of proposition. I never said those things. So what I permitted, I promoted. And I encouraged that kind of behavior. And then I was putting out that vibe myself because I was like, well, I'm getting attention. And good, this kind of attention, sexual attention is better than no attention, right? Well, no. If that's not what you want, no. So really have a conversation with yourself about what you want. And when you accept that and accept that whatever it is you want is completely okay. If you want to get married, that's fine. If you want to sleep with like 30 guys this summer, that's fine too. Don't lie to yourself. Because when you lie to yourself, there is no way the rest of your life is going to turn out well. It's going to be a fucking mess because you're going to attract this thing and that thing, and none of it's going to be authentic because you're not being realistic and you're not being real with yourself. Also, in a more actualizable kind of way, evaluate your outward appearance. I would always go out in like the shortest, tightest, low-cuttest dresses. Low-cuttest. Great word, Sharon. I'm a professional writer, by the way. Words. Slutty dresses. I would go out in skanky outfits, hair extensions, lipstick, fake lashes. And then I'm like, why don't guys ever ask me about my life or what I do? Oh, gee, what a mystery. Like, looking back, it's so obvious. But what kind of vibe was I giving off? Like, maybe if I cover up a little bit more, like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have gotten so many looks, but the looks I would get were probably more in line with the kind of person I wanted to date. There were fewer looks, but it was higher quality. Quantity versus quality. And once I decided that I did want a boyfriend, I shifted all that, and I became okay with, like, a few less looks and a few less, like, I guess, sexual fanfare, I guess you could call it. And my whole rubric for what I was looking for shifted. So really be honest with yourself. Reevaluate the vibe you're putting out to the world. Think of yourself as a walking commercial. Are you selling the right product? Are you on brand with what you want your brand message to be? Because if you aren't promoting the right product, people aren't going to be buying the right product.